Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Jai Shri Krishna Sudi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kante Radha Kante Namostude Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chev Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. बोलो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की जय। बोलो श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय।
जय। हरे कृष्णा जय।
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा।
हेलो निशा, हरे कृष्णा। कृष्णा म्यूट पे होते आप।
हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन।
हरे कृष्णा निशा जी।
ऑलराइट, तो हम लोग gap of 1 week in between but getting back 10th कैंटो हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं, 10th स्कंद श्रीमद् भागवतम का। और कितने स्कंद है टोटल?
12।
कितनी बुक्स है? 12 बुक्स या 12 स्कंद। और उसमें हम लोग वी आर ऑन द 10th स्कंद एंड 13th अध्याय। और ये जो 10th स्कंद है, दैट्स द मोस्ट प्योरेस्ट स्कंद। दिस इज ऑल अबाउट लॉर्ड श्री कृष्ण। या और हम लोग अभी पढ़ रहे थे कैसे लॉर्ड ब्रह्मा जी भगवान कृष्ण की परीक्षा लेना चाह रहे हैं। ही इज ट्राइंग टू सी कि हाउ पावरफुल दैट बाल रूप कृष्णा इज। सो ब्रह्मा जी अपनी माया से जितने भी वो ग्वाल बाल बछड़े चरा रहे होते हैं और ग्वाल होते हैं, उनको वो ले जाके गुफा में छुपा देते हैं। कृष्ण भगवान को ऑफ कोर्स ये पता चलता है, तो कृष्ण भगवान अपनी योग माया से सेम टू सेम ग्वाल बाल और बछड़े गायें बनाते हैं और उनको चराते हैं। शाम को गोकुल ले आते हैं, नंदगांव ले आते हैं, एंड no one feels any difference and they were all सारे कृष्ण भगवान के स्वरूप होते हैं। and this gives a chance to all the gopis and people in Vrindavan, Nandgaon, to be directly attached to Lord Sri Krishna. Yeah, but then after a year, the one solar year, और वो 1 solar year is एक क्षण होता है। ब्रह्मा जी का एक क्षण is like 1 solar year on earth. एक क्षण के बाद में ब्रह्मा जी वापस आते हैं। then he sees what's going on. वो देखते हैं कि उन्होंने जिनको छुपाया वो तो वहीं है, बट वैसे की वैसे स्वरूप में भगवान कृष्ण सब गायों के साथ और सबके साथ खेल रहे हैं। and then he realizes कि this is the supreme personality of Godhead. ये योग माया का तेज है। और ये जानने के बाद में वो 1 मिनट के लिए ध्यान खो देते हैं। एंड उसी जगह पे हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं अभी। सो लास्ट वीक वी रेड दिस श्लोक, सेज लॉर्ड ब्रह्मा's एक्सटर्नल कॉन्शियसनेस देन रिवाइव्ड। एक बार देखने के बाद में loses a consciousness and then it gets revived and then he stood up just like a dead man coming back to life. Opening his eyes with great difficulty, he saw the universe along with himself. So when he's looking at Lord Shri Krishna, he sees the whole universe and he sees himself also in the universe. That's what Lord Brahmaji looks. Yeah. Says yes. Saha Atmana. Along with himself, he sees the whole universe. And then we actually also read this shlok 59. It says, then looking in all directions, Lord Brahma immediately saw Vrindavan before him, filled with trees, which were the means of livelihood for the inhabitants and which were equally pleasing in all seasons. So that's what Lord Brahmaji says. And we'll start reading from 60th shlok. Anilji.
यत्र नैसर्गदुर्वैराः सहासन्नम्रगादयः मित्राणि वाजिता वासुद्रतरुतर्षकादिकम्. Vrindavan is the transcendental abode of the Lord, where there is no hunger, anger, or thirst. Though naturally inimical, both human beings and fierce animals live there together in transcendental friendship. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ajay?
तत्रो दृहत पशुपवन शशितनाट्य ब्रह्माद्वयं परमनंत मगाध बोधम वत्सान सखीनवि पुरा परितो विचिन्व देकम सपणिकलम परमेच्छ यचष्ट. Then Lord Brahma saw the absolute truth, who is one without a second, who possesses full knowledge and who is unlimited. Assuming the role of a child in a family of cowherd men and standing all alone, just as before, with a morsel of food in his hand, searching everywhere for the calves and his cowherd friends. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What Lord Brahmaji sees then, right? He sees the absolute truth. Whom does he see? He says Brahma Advyam, like Advitiya. Like says one, yeah, who is without a second, he is Param, he is Anant. So he says Param Anantam Aghad Bodham. Yeah, Aghad Bodham is he possesses the full knowledge and he is unlimited. So that's what Lord Brahma says, like he is unlimited, full of knowledge. But what he sees here is Vatsan Sakini Pura Parito Vichinva. Like he is taken a role of a child in a family of a cowherd man and is standing all alone just as before, yeah, with a morsel of food in his hand, yeah, playing with calves and his cowherd friends. That's what Lord Brahmaji sees. Let's read this. Anisha.
The word Aghada Bodham means full of unlimited knowledge. It's significant in this verse. The Lord's knowledge is unlimited and therefore one cannot touch where it ends, just as one cannot measure the ocean. What is the extent of our intelligence in comparison to the vast expanse of water in the ocean? On my passage to America, how insignificant the ship was, like a matchbox in the midst of ocean. Krishna's intelligence resembles the ocean, for one cannot imagine how vast it is. The best course, therefore, is to surrender to Krishna. Do not try to measure Krishna. The word Advayam, meaning one without a second, is also significant. Because Brahma was overcast by Krishna's Maya, he was thinking himself the supreme. In the material world, everyone thinks I am the best man in this world. I know everything. One thinks, why should I read Bhagavad Gita? I know everything. I have my own interpretation. Brahma, however, was able to understand that the Supreme Personality is Krishna, Ishvaraha Parama Krishna. Another of Krishna's name, therefore, is Parameshwar. Now Brahma saw Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appearing as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan, not demonstrating his opulence but standing just like an innocent boy with some food in his hand, loitering with his cowherd boyfriends and cows. Brahma did not see Krishna as an Chaturbhuja, the opulent Narayan. Rather, he simply saw an innocent boy. Nonetheless, he could understand that although Krishna was not demonstrating his power, he was the same Supreme Person. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So as we see how Lord Brahmaji described Lord Shri Krishna, right? Full of unlimited knowledge. And what is also mentioned here by Swami Prabhupada actually is that what is the extent of our intelligence in comparison to the vast expanse of water in the ocean, right? Like he remembers when he was, so how Swami Prabhupada came to USA was in a ship, right? On the ship. So he's saying that ship is like a matchbox in the middle of the ocean. That's what he's comparing with. Like Krishna's intelligence is the ocean. And it's not, don't spend time measuring that. Rather than that, surrender to Krishna. And surrendering to Krishna means getting engaged into devotional service with those 9 Navda Bhakti, which so that Shravanam Kirtanam, that's how we surrender to Krishna. That's what is mentioned. Anilji?
People generally do not appreciate someone unless he shows something wonderful. But here, although Krishna did not manifest anything wonderful, Brahma could understand that the same wonderful person was present like an ordinary child, although he was the master of the whole creation. Thus, Brahma prayed, Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. You are the original person, the cause of everything. I bow down to you. This was his realization. Tam Aham Bhajami. This is what is wanted. Vedeshu Turlabham. One cannot reach Krishna merely by Vedic knowledge. Adurlabham Atma Bhaktav. But when one becomes a devotee, then one can realize him. Brahma therefore became a devotee. In the beginning, he was proud of being Brahma, the Lord of the universe, but now he understood. Here is the Lord of the universe. I am simply an insignificant agent. Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. Krishna was playing like a dramatic actor because Brahma had some false prestige, thinking that he had some power. Krishna showed him his real position. A similar incident occurred when Brahma went to see Krishna in Dwarka. When Krishna's doorman informed Lord Krishna that Lord Brahma had arrived, Krishna responded, Which Brahma? Ask him which Brahma. The doorman relayed this question, and Brahma was astonished. Is there another Brahma besides me? He thought. When the doorman informed Lord Krishna, it is four-headed Brahma, Lord Krishna said, Oh, four-headed, call others, show him. This is Krishna's position. For Krishna, the four-headed Brahma is insignificant, to say nothing of four-headed scientists. Materialistic scientists think that although this planet Earth is full of opulence, all others are vacant. Because they simply speculate, this is their scientific conclusion. But from the Bhagavatam, we understand that the entire universe is full of living entities everywhere. Thus, it is the folly of the scientists that although they do not know anything, they mislead people by presenting themselves as scientists, philosophers, and men of knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so few things mentioned here. One is Lord Brahma's prayers, right? Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. That's a prayer we started listening to last week, and we'll continue. This is from Brahma Samhita. We'll continue listening to it at least today and tomorrow. Yeah. And that's, of course, which means that you are the original person, the cause of everything. I bow down to you. Tam Aham Bhajami. Right? That's Lord Krishna, Lord Brahma's prayers. And We'll continue to next slok. दृष्ट्वा त्वरेण निज धोरण तो अवतीर्य पृथ्व्यां वपुः कनकदण्डमिव अभिपात्य स्पृष्ट्वा चतुर्मुकुटकोटिभिरङ्गद्रियुग्मम् नत्वा मुदश्रुसुजलेर्कृताभिषेकम्. After seeing this, Lord Brahma hastily got down from his swan carrier, fell down like a golden roll, and touched the lotus feet of Lord Krishna with the tips of the 4 crowns on his heads. Offering his obeisances, he bathed the feet of Krishna with the water of his tears of joy. Yeah. So what is mentioned here is Lord Brahma with his Chatur Mukut Koti, the tip of his all 4 mukuts. What did he do? He Bhrang Angri Yugmam. He touched the lotus feet of the Lord Shri Krishna, and even on top of it says here Natva Asru Sujale. Yeah, from the Asru, from the tears of joy, Krit Abhishekam. Yeah, from the he offering his obeisances, he bathed the feet of Krishna with the water of his tears of joy. Yeah. And just let's read this, Ajay.
Lord Brahma saw that Krishna, in his form as a cowherd boy, was Parabrahman, the root cause of everything, but was now appearing as a human child, loitering in Vrindavan with a morsel of food in his hand. Astonished, Lord Brahma hastily got down from his swan carrier and let his body fall to the earth. Usually the demigods never touch the ground, but Lord Brahma, voluntarily giving up his prestige as a demigod, bowed down on the ground before Krishna. Although Brahma has 1 head in each direction, he voluntarily brought all the heads to the ground and touched Krishna's feet with the tips of his 4 helmets. Although his intelligence works in every direction, he surrendered everything before the boy Krishna. It is mentioned that Brahma washed the feet of Krishna with his tears, and here the word Sujule indicates that his tears were purified. As soon as bhakti is present, everything is purified. Sarvapadi Vinimuktam. Therefore, Brahma's crying was a form of bhakti anubhav, a transformation of transcendental ascetic love. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nisha?
उत्थायोत्थाय कृष्णस्य चिरस्य पादयोः पतन् आस्ते महित्वं प्राग्दृष्टं स्मृत्वा पुनः पुनः. Rising and falling again and again at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna for a long time, Lord Brahma remembered over and over the Lord's greatness he had just seen. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shane rathotthaya vimrijya lochane mukunda mudviksha vinambra kandara kritanjaliha prasayavan samahita save pathurud gadayela telaya ज्ञाने प्रयासमुदपाशनमन्त एव जीवन्ति सन्मुखिरातां भवदीयवार्तम् स्थाने स्थिताः श्रुतिगतां तनुवाङ्गमनोभिः ये पार्यशो अजितजितोऽप्यसीत्रे स्त्रीलोक्याम्. Then rising very gradually and wiping his 2 eyes, Lord Brahma looked up at Mukund. Lord Brahma, his head bent low, his mind concentrated and his body trembling, very humbly began with faltering words to offer praises to Lord Krishna. Yeah, so after the obeisances, wiping his feet with the tears of joy, right? Lord Brahma starts praising Krishna. He starts speaking. This, Ajay?
Yeah. Brahma, being very joyful, began to shed tears, and he washed the lotus feet of Krishna with his tears. Repeatedly he fell and rose as he recalled the wonderful activities of the Lord. After repeating obeisances for a long time, Brahma stood up and smeared his hands over his eyes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that the word Lokane indicates that his two hands he wiped the two eyes on each of his four faces. Seeing the Lord before, the Brahma began to offer prayer with great humility, respect, and attention. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, and this ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 10th canto, 13th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Stilling of the Boys and Caves by Brahma. Hello, Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Jai.
Jai.
So we'll continue reading chapter 14, and chapter 14 is after Lord Brahma realizes that he offers his glorification to Lord Sri Krishna. That's what we are going to read. Brahma's prayers to Lord Krishna. Anil?
Shri Brahmovacha Nomidnyam te abhrapushe tadidambraya gunjavatam saparipiksha lasanmukhaya vanyasraje kavalavetra vishran venu lakshmashriye mradupade pashupangajaya. Lord Brahma said, "My dear Lord, you are the only worshipable Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore I offer my humble obeisances and prayers just to please you. O son of the king of the cowherds, your transcendental body is dark blue like a new cloud, your garment is brilliant like lightning, and the beauty of your face is enhanced by your gunja earrings and the peacock feather on your head. Wearing garlands of various forest flowers and leaves, and equipped with a herding stick, a buffalo horn, and a flute, you stand beautifully with a morsel of food in your hand. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so this is how Lord Krishna, Lord Brahma starts glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Right? And he's describing his body. Your transcendental body is dark blue, like a new cloud. Your garment is brilliant like lightning. Yeah, it says here, like Tadi Tadi Dambaraya. Te Abhra Pushe Tadi Dambaraya. And then also it says the beauty of your face is enhanced by your kunj earrings and the peacock feather on your head. Yeah. And of course, the garlands of various forests and leaves. That's how Lord Brahma describes the Lakshma Shriya Mridupade, the Komal feet, right? And then Venu. So this is how Lord Brahma describes. And then he says, I offer my humble obeisances and prayers just to please you. Yeah. And again, a very nice purport. Let's read, Ajay.
In the previous chapter, Brahma, the creator of the universe, tried to bewilder the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, by stealing his cowherd boyfriends and calves. But by a slight exhibition of Krishna's own mystic potency, Brahma himself was completely bewildered. And now, with great humility and devotion, he offers his humble obeisances and prayers unto the Lord. The word Kavala in this verse refers to the morsel of rice mixed with yogurt that Krishna held in his left hand. According to Santana Goswami, the Lord held a cow herding stick and a buffalo horn pressed under his left arm, and his flute was placed under his belt. Beautiful young Krishna, decorated with multicolored forest minerals, exhibited opulences far greater than those of Vaikuntha. Although Brahma had seen innumerable forms of the Lord, he now surrendered to the lotus feet of the two-armed form of Krishna, who appeared as the son of Nand Maharaj. Brahma offered his prayers to that form. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Isha?
अस्यापि देववपुषो मदन अनुग्रहस्य स्वेच्छामयस्य न तु भूतमयस्य कोऽपि नेशे मही त्वव सिन्तु मनसान्तरेण साक्षात् वैव किमुतात्म सुखानुभूते. My dear Lord, neither I nor anyone else can estimate the potency of this transcendental body of yours, which has shown such mercy to me and which appears just to fulfill the desires of your pure devotees. Although my mind is completely withdrawn from material affairs, I cannot understand your personal form. How then could I possibly understand the happiness you experience within yourself? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And who is saying this?
Brahma, Lord.
Brahmaji, yeah? Yeah. Brahma is glorifying Lord Sri Krishna and is saying that appears just to fulfill the desire of your pure devotees. That's the mercy of Lord Sri Krishna. Yeah, he appears to fulfill the desires of his devotees. He says, Svecha mayasya tu bhuta mayasya ko api. And then he says that my mind is completely withdrawn from material affairs. I cannot understand your personal form. Still, very difficult to understand the personal form of Lord Sri Krishna. And he is feeling the blissful, the pleasure. But then he's also saying, how then could I possibly understand the happiness you experience within yourself? Right? Says Atma Sukhanu Anubhute. Like how can I understand that? Right? And a nice purpose. Anilji?
In Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, chapter 14, Srila Prabhupada explains that in the present verse, Lord Brahma expressed the following prayerful sentiment. Your appearance as a cowherd child is for the benefit of the devotees, and although I have committed an offense at your lotus feet by stealing away your boys and calves, I can understand that you have bestowed your mercy upon me. That is your transcendental quality. You are very affectionate toward your devotees. But in spite of your great affection for me, I cannot estimate the potency of your bodily activities. It is to be understood that when I, Lord Brahma, the Supreme Personality of this universe, cannot estimate the childlike body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then what to speak of others? And if I cannot estimate the spiritual potency of your childlike body, then what can I understand about your transcendental pastimes? Therefore, as it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, anyone who can understand a little of the transcendental pastimes, appearance and disappearance of the Lord, immediately becomes eligible to enter the kingdom of God after quitting this material body. This statement is confirmed in the Vedas, where it is stated simply by understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can overcome the chain of repeated birth and death. I therefore recommend that people should not try to understand you by their speculative knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So this is even mentioned in the Vedas. Says that the statement is confirmed in the Vedas. Yeah. But it says by understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can overcome the chain of repeated birth and death just by understanding him. And then he's saying, I therefore recommend that people should not try to understand you by their speculative knowledge. Don't apply your speculative changing knowledge in understanding Krishna. Right? Krishna can only be understood by the devotional service. Okay?
When Brahma disrespected the supreme status of personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna first bewildered him by exhibiting the Lord's own transcendental power. Then, having humbled his devotees, Brahma Krishna gave him his personal audience. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Lord Krishna's transcendental body can also function through the agency of his plenary expansions called Vishnu Tattva, as stated by Brahma himself in the Brahma Samhita 5.32. Angani yasya sakalendriya vritimanti. The verse indicates that only the Lord can perform any bodily function with any of his limbs, but also he can see through his eyes of Vishnu expansions, or indeed through the eyes of any living entity, and similarly that he can hear through the ears of any Vishnu or Jiva expansion. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out that although the Lord can perform any function with any one of his senses, in his transcendental pastime as Sri Krishna, he generally sees with his eye, touches with his hand, hears with his ears, and so on. Thus he behaves like the most beautiful and charming young cowherd boy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nisha?
The Vedic knowledge expands from Lord Brahma, who is described in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam as Adikavi, the primeval Vedic scholar. Yet Brahma could not understand the transcendental body of Lord Krishna because it is beyond the reach of ordinary Vedic knowledge. Among all the transcendental form of Lord, the two-armed form of Govind, Krishna, is original and supreme. Thus, Lord Govind's pastime of stealing butter, drinking the gopis' breast milk, tending the cows, playing his flute, and playing childhood sports are extraordinary, even in comparison with the activities of Lord Vishnu's expansions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. ज्ञाने प्रयास समुदपाशनमन्तैव जीवन्ति सन्मुखिरतां भवदीयवार्ताम् स्थाने स्थिताः श्रुतिगतां तनुवागमनोभिः ये पार्यशो अजितो वयक्षित्रे त्रिलोक्याम्. Those who, even while remaining situated in their established social positions, throw away the process of speculative knowledge and with their body, words, and mind offer all respects to descriptions of your personality and activities, dedicating their lives to those narrations which are vibrated by you personally and by your pure devotees, certainly conquer your lordship, although you are otherwise unconquerable by anyone within the three worlds. Yeah. Again, Lord Brahmaji is saying this, right? Like Shruti Gatam. Basically, what it says here is people who are devotees and they offer all respects to descriptions of your personality and activity. Shruti Gatam, they listen and talk about those. What happens? They conquer your lordship. You cannot conquer Lord, but the devotional service, through the devotional service, yeah, prayasho ajit jito apyasi. That's how you can win over the Lord, by doing the devotional service, is what is mentioned here. Anilji?
Here, the word udapasya clearly indicates that one should not even slightly endeavor to understand the absolute truth, by the process of mental speculation, for it invariably carries one to an imperfect, impersonal understanding of God. The word Jivanti indicates that a devotee who always hears about Lord Krishna will go back home, back to Godhead, even if he can do nothing except maintain his existence and hear topics concerning the Lord. Srila Sanatana Goswami has explained the words Tanuvan Manabhi by the body, words, and mind in three ways in reference to devotees. Through their body, words, and mind, they are able to conquer Lord Krishna, thus becoming perfect in Krishna consciousness. They can touch his lotus feet with their hands, call him to come with their words, and attain his direct audience within their mind simply by thinking about him. In the case of non-devotees, the words Tanu, Van, Manabhi refer to the word Ajit, unconquered, and indicates that those not engaged in the loving service of Lord Krishna cannot conquer the absolute truth by their bodily strength, verbal expertise, or mental power. Despite all their endeavors, the ultimate truth remains beyond their reach. In reference to the word Jitaha, conquered, the words Tanu, Van, Manabhi indicate that the pure devotees of Lord Krishna conquer his body, words, and mind. Lord Krishna's body is conquered because he always remains by the side of his pure devotees. Lord Krishna's words are conquered because he always chants the glories of his devotees. And Lord Krishna's mind is conquered because he always thinks about his loving devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Again?
Srila Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur has explained the words Tanuvan Manabhi in regard to the word Namantah, offering obeisances. He explains that the devotees can take full advantage of the transcendental topics of the Lord by offering all respects to those topics with their body, word, and mind. One should engage his body by touching the ground with his hands and head while offering obeisances to the topics of the Lord. One should engage in his words praising transcendental literature such as Bhagavad Gita and SrimadBhagavatam, as well as the devotees who are preaching such literatures, and one should engage his mind by feeling great reverences and pleasure while hearing the transcendental topics of the Lord. In this way, a sincere devotee who has acquired even a small amount of transcendental knowledge about Lord Krishna can conquer him and thus go back home, back to the Godhead for eternal life as at the Lord's side. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nisha?
श्रेयः श्रुतिं भक्तिमुदस्यते विभो क्लिशन्ति ये केवलबोधलब्धये तेषामसो क्लेश एव शिष्यते नान्यद यथा स्थूलतुषावघातिनाम्. My dear Lord, devotional service unto you is the best path of self-realization. If someone gives up that path and engages in the cultivation of speculative knowledge, he will simply undergo a troublesome process and will not achieve his desired result. As a person who gets an empty husk of wheat cannot get grain, one who simply speculates cannot achieve self-realization. His only gain is trouble. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Basically, what is mentioned is the best process is the devotional service. Unto you is the best path of self-realization. Sreya sutim bhakti mudashyate vipo. Yeah, that's the best path. Everything else is not going to lead to the highest perfection. Pure bhuman bahavo api yogina stavadapirteha nij karmal vyada vibuddhya bhavateva kathopanitaya prapedire ajjo achutate gatim param. O Almighty Lord, in the past, many yogis in this world achieved the platform of devotional service by offering their endeavors unto you and faithfully carrying out the prescribed duties. Through such devotional service, perfected by the process of hearing and chanting about you, they came to understand you, O infallible one, and could easily surrender to you and achieve your supreme abode. Is what Lord Brahma is mentioning right now. Yeah, Gatim Param, like basically achieve your supreme abode. Anilji?
तथापि भूमन् हिमागुणस्य ते विबोद्धुमर्हत्य बलान्तरात्माभिः अभिक्रियात् स्वानुभवादरूपतो ह्यनन्य बोधत्यात्मताया न चान्यथा. Non-devotees, however, cannot realize you in your full personal feature. Nevertheless, it may be possible for them to realize your expansion as the impersonal Supreme by cultivating direct perception of the Self within the heart. But they can do this only by purifying the mind and senses of all conceptions of material distinction and all attachment to material sense objects. Only in this way will your impersonal feature manifest itself to them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ajay?
गुणात् गुणात्मनस्तेऽपि गुणान् विमान्तु हिताकर्णीयस्य क ईशिरेस्य कालेन यैर्वानिमिता सुकल्पये भूर्माशवः खे मिहिका शुभासः. In time, learned philosophers or scientists might be able to count all the atoms on the earth, the particles of the snow, or perhaps even the shining molecules radiating from the sun, the stars and other luminaries. But among these learned men, who could possibly count the unlimited transcendental qualities possessed by you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who have descended onto the surface of the earth for the benefit of all living entities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, what Lord Brahma is saying, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who have descended onto the surface of the earth. Why? For the benefit of all living entities. That's how Lord Shri Krishna has appeared, so that the devotees can be benefited. Yeah, is what is mentioned by Lord Brahma himself. Can a nice purport, Nisha?
Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that Lord Krishna is Gunatma, the soul of superior qualities, because he gives them life. For example, one may discuss in an abstract way such qualities as generosity, intelligence, and mercy, but they come to life only when a living person exhibits them. Thus, Lord Krishna is Gunatma because he descends to the material world and re-establish religious principles by exhibiting all godly qualities himself and inspiring them in others. A living entity who develops the transcendental qualities found in the Lord receives immeasurable benefit and eventually goes with the Lord back to his own abode, where all living beings are liberated and fully endowed with the transcendental nature. Srila Sanatana Goswami further explains that the Lord manifests a specific spiritual quality for the benefit of each living entity. Since there are innumerable living entities within the confines of the material creation, the Lord manifests infinite qualities. Thus, every conditioned soul can appreciate the Supreme Lord is in a particular way. The examples is given here that even if the most learned scholars could someday count the particles of earth, snow, and light, they would still fail to understand the qualities of the Lord. In this example, earth, snow, and light are progressively more subtle. Thus, it is to be understood that there is an increasing difficulty in counting their virtually infinite particles. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Let's read this, Anilji.
According to Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur, great personalities like Lord Shankarsana actually have counted the number of atoms on the earth and even the molecules in the entire universe. Yet, even such a personality as Shankarsana, who has been continuously chanting the glories of the Lord since time immemorial, has not been approached the final count of those glories. Lord Krishna exhibits his most astonishing qualities during his childhood pastimes in Vrindavan, where he steals butter from the cowherd ladies, dances with his girlfriends, and plays with his cowherd boyfriends as their most dear companion. Although appearing like ordinary human activities, such sublime pastimes embody Lord Krishna's immeasurable and innumerable beautiful transcendental qualities, which are the life and soul of the pure devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
तते अनुकंपा सुसमीक्षमाणे क्षमाणो भुजान एवात्मकृतं विपाकलम विपाकम ब्रह्मपुरभिविद्य दयत्र मस्ते जीवेत या मुक्तिपदे स दायभाक. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reaction of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what is mentioned is Jivetayo Mukti Pade Daya Bhakar. Like that's his claim. Yeah. The rightful claim is what is being mentioned is you respectful obeisance with his heart, words, and body is surely eligible for liberation. One who offers the respectful obeisances, yeah, is surely eligible for liberation. For what happens, it has become his rightful claim. Yeah, is what is mentioned. And it's a very nice purport actually. So we'll read this. Anisha.
Srila Sridhar Swami explains in his commentary that just a legitimate son has to simply remain alive to gain an inheritance from his father. One who simply remains alive in Krishna consciousness, following the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, automatically becomes eligible to receive the mercy of the personality of Godhead. In other words, he will be promoted to the kingdom of God. The word sus, samikshamana indicates that a devotee earnestly awaits the mercy of Supreme Lord even while suffering the painful effects of previous sinful activities. Lord Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita that a devotee who fully surrenders unto him is no longer liable to suffer the reactions of his previous karma. However, because in his mind a devotee may still maintain the remnants of his previous sinful mentality, the Lord removes the last vestiges of the enjoying spirit by giving his devotee punishments that may sometimes resemble sinful reactions. The purpose of the entire creation of Lord is to rectify the living entity's tendency to enjoy without the Lord, and therefore the particular punishment given for a sinful activity is specifically designed to curtail the mentality that produced the activity. Although a devotee has surrendered to the Lord's devotional service until he is completely perfect in Krishna consciousness, he may maintain a slight inclination to enjoy the false happiness of the world. The Lord therefore creates a particular situation to eradicate the remaining enjoying spirit. The unhappiness suffered by a sincere devotee is not technically a karmic reaction. It is rather Lord's special mercy for inducing his devotee to completely let go of the material world and return home back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This, Anilji?
A sincere devotee earnestly desires to go back to the Lord's abode. Therefore, he willingly accepts the Lord's merciful punishment and continues offering respects and obeisances to the Lord with his heart, words, and body. Such a bona fide servant of the Lord, considering all hardship a small price to pay for gaining the personal association of the Lord, certainly becomes a legitimate son of God, as indicated here by the words Daya Bhag. Just as one cannot approach the sun without becoming fire, one cannot approach the Supreme Pure Lord Krishna without undergoing a rigid purificatory process, which may appear like suffering, but which is in fact a curative treatment administered by the personal hand of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I think we are going to pause here. Almost the time. Yeah. And we've been listening to Brahma Samhita. So we will continue listening to that. So just 1 second, we share. We'll hear it for 7 to 8 minutes. It's long, it's like 26 minutes. So we heard only 5 minutes. We'll hear again 6 to 7 minutes, and we'll continue that. Yeah. But this is the Lord Brahma's Stuti to Lord Govind. Since we are reading about Lord Brahma, I think it's good time to listen to Brahma Samhita, some sloks. So.
प्रकट करते हैं उन आदि पुरुष भगवान गोविंद का मैं भजन करता हूँ। अद्वैतमच्युत।
This is the quickest way to clear out stuck poop.
The number one food for regular beef.
आद्यं पुराण पुरुषं नवयौवनं च वेदेषु दुर्लभमधुर्लभमात्मभक्तौ गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। जो वेदों के लिए दुर्लभ है, किंतु आत्मा की विशुद्ध भक्ति द्वारा सुलभ है, जो अद्वैत है, अच्युत है, अनादि है, जिनका रूप अनंत है, जो सबके आदि हैं तथा प्राचीनतम पुरुष होते हुए भी नित्य नवयुवक हैं, उन आदि पुरुष भगवान गोविंद का मैं भजन करता हूँ। पंथास्तु कोटि शतवत्सर संप्रगम्यो वायोरथापि मनसो मुनिपुंगवाना सोऽप्यस्ति यत्प्रपदसिम्न्यविचिन्त्य तत्त्वे गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। चिन्मयता को प्राप्त करने के इच्छुक योगियों के प्राणायाम आदि वायु निरोधात्मक योग पथ से अथवा निर्भेद ब्रह्मानुसंधान करने वाले श्रेष्ठ ज्ञानियों के भौतिक त्याग द्वारा ज्ञान पथ से शतकोटि वर्षों तक साधन करने पर भी जिनके चरणार विंद के अग्रभाग की ही प्राप्ति होती है, उन आदि पुरुष भगवान गोविंद का मैं भजन करता हूँ। एकोप्यसौ रचयितुं जगदण्डकोटिं यच्चक्तिरस्ति जगदण्डचयायदन्तः अंडान्तरस्थ परमाणुचयान्तरस्थं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। जो शक्ति एवं शक्तिमान में अभिन्नता होने के कारण निर्भेद एक तत्व हैं, जिनके द्वारा करोड़ों ब्रह्मांडों की सृष्टि होने पर भी जिनकी शक्ति उनसे पृथक नहीं, जिनमें सारे ब्रह्मांड स्थित हैं, एवं जो साथ ही साथ ब्रह्मांडों के भीतर रहने वाले परमाणु समूह के भी भीतर पूर्ण रूप से अवस्थान करते हैं, उन आदि पुरुष भगवान गोविंद का मैं भजन करता हूँ। यद्भाव भावित धियो मनुजास्तथैव संप्राप्य रूप महिमा सनयान भूषाः सुक्तैर्यमेव निगम प्रतितैस्तुवन्ते गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। भाव भक्ति से भावित हृदय वाले मनुष्य अपने उपयुक्त रूप, महिमा, आसन, वाहन तथा आभूषणों को प्राप्त करके वेद कथित मंत्र सूक्तों द्वारा जिनकी स्तुति करते हैं, उन आदि पुरुष भगवान गोविंद का मैं भजन करता हूँ। आनंद चिन्मय रस प्रतिभाविताभिस्ताभिर्य एव निज रूपतया कलाभिः गोलोक एव निवसत्यखिलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। जो अपने धाम गोलोक में अपनी स्वरूप शक्ति 64 कला युक्त लाधिनी रूपा श्री राधा तथा उनकी सखियों के साथ, जो कि उनके नित्य आनंद में चिन्मय रस से स्फूर्त एवं पूरित रहती हैं, निवास करते हैं, उन आदि पुरुष भगवान गोविंद का मैं भजन करता हूँ। प्रेमांजन चुरित भक्ति विलोचनेन सन्तः सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति।
Your workflow is important to us. Please wait indefinitely.
With Monday.com's intuitive work management platform,
यं श्याम सुंदरमचिन्त्य गुणस्वरूपम् गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। जो स्वयं श्याम सुंदर श्री कृष्ण है, जिनके अनेकानेक अचिंत्य गुण हैं तथा जिनका शुद्ध भक्त प्रेम के अंजन से रंजित भक्ति के नेत्रों द्वारा अपने अंतर हृदय में दर्शन करते रहते हैं, उन आदि पुरुष भगवान गोविंद का मैं भजन करता हूँ। रामादिमूर्तिषु कला नियमेन तिष्ठन् नानावतारमकरोत् भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णः स्वयं समभवत् परमः पुमान्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। जिन्होंने श्री राम, नरसिंह, वामन इत्यादि विग्रहों में नियत संख्या की कला रूप से स्थित रहकर जगत में अवतार लिए, परंतु जो भगवान श्री कृष्ण के रूप में स्वयं प्रकट हुए, उन आदि पुरुष भगवान गोविंद का मैं भजन करता हूँ।
बोलो श्री राधे कृष्ण भगवान की
जय।
So we'll continue hearing this Brahma Samhita very beautifully, like glorification of Lord Shri Govind by Lord Brahma himself. Yeah, it's very nice. And we'll actually be reading Lord Brahma's prayers in SrimadBhagavatam also continuously tomorrow. Yeah. So, Hare Krishna.
Hey, Hare Krishna, everyone.
And Kadi.
Yeah.